How's it going everyone, my name's Gotcake and welcome to this review of Dungeon Shooting, a top-down twin-stick shooter where your goal is to make your way through floors of enemies utilising the various weapons at your disposal. Remember to like this video if you enjoy it and consider subscribing for future Switch indie game reviews. So on the main menu for the game we have a few options. Taking a look first at the floor map, we get a bit of a roadmap of the available floors, and we can see that there are a few branching paths where there are multiple exits available on some floors to add a bit of variation to a run. Completed floors are highlighted in blue, and there are about 40 floors in total, with floor 30 being the final floor. As we jump into our first game, we begin at floor 1-1, and we have standard twin stick controls with your left analog used to move your character and the right used to aim your weapon, which you fire by pressing the R button. Each floor is made up of a set of rooms, and as you enter a room a bunch of enemies will spawn and the room will be locked down. Some rooms contain a few spike traps which you need to avoid, and you have to kill all the enemies in a room to unlock it and proceed onward. Enemies can drop items which fall into three categories. Firstly, you have the standard weapons, of which there are 5 in total, and you can switch weapons by pressing L to access the weapon wheel. The ammo count for each weapon is also displayed below them in this menu. You begin with a pistol which is slow firing but has unlimited ammo. The other 4 weapons are dropped by dead enemies and are colour coded for easy identification. In dark blue you have the assault rifle, which is fully automatic and has decent accuracy. The orange coloured SMG fires faster than the assault rifle, but its range and accuracy are decreased. The shotgun, shown in white, fires a bunch of projectiles and is powerful at very short range. And finally, the yellow sniper rifle is slow firing, but its shots are incredibly accurate and can kill most enemies in one shot. Additional ammo for weapons are dropped by enemies. Each displays an image which corresponds to a specific weapon. When equipped, the ammo count for weapons is displayed in the bottom right. The top figure is how much ammo you've got left in total for the weapon, and the bottom is how much is left in your current clip. Weapons are automatically reloaded when empty, or can manually be reloaded pressing ZR. The second type of item that enemies will drop are health potions. Your health is displayed as blue crosses in the top left corner, and taking damage will remove one of these crosses. You can use potions by pressing Y, which will restore 1 lost health point. You can carry a maximum of 5 potions, and the current number of potions you carry is displayed above the ammo counter. If at any point you lose all your health, then you can either start from the beginning again, or restart from a safe room found on various floors, where you'll retain your current weapon and items. The last type of item that enemies can drop are the special weapons, of which there are 3 in the game. Firstly, you have the purple rocket launcher, which fires projectiles which home in on the nearest enemy and can destroy him in one hit. Next is the beam rifle, which fires a continuous beam of energy. And finally, there's the deployable turret, which when used will follow behind you and fire on nearby enemies. You can hit X to switch from your standard weapon to your special weapon, but special weapons don't use standard ammunition. Instead, as you kill enemies, a yellow bar located below your health bar will fill up, which will then be expended when you use a special weapon. As you make your way through the floors, you'll encounter enemies, all of which are different types of robots in various shapes and sizes. To begin with, you'll encounter robots which fire single projectiles. These are generally pretty easy to dodge, but these skinny robots have a faster fire rate than others. There are also these bigger robots which fire a burst of projectiles in a cone shape. To avoid projectiles, you have a dodge button, which provides some iframes and allows you to roll through or away from enemy projectiles. In general, there really isn't much variation to the enemies. As you progress to the higher floors, you'll encounter red versions of enemies, some of which fire multiple projectiles at once, or shots which home in on you. And in the last 10 floors or so, you'll start to see blue enemies, which are generally more of the same, with the only real unique variant being the fat blue ones, which spew projectiles in all directions. So the gameplay is relatively simple. Work your way through each floor, killing enemies while stockpiling ammo and potions. Every 10 levels you'll encounter a boss, and there are 3 in total. Each boss has a few of their own unique mechanics, and offer a bit more of a challenge, but none are massively difficult. Once you beat the final boss on floor 30, the game ends. You're congratulated and then kicked back to the title menu. Here you can view any of the achievements you've earned through playing, such as killing 1,000 enemies or killing a certain number of enemies with specific weapons, but they serve no purpose other than being a bit of a checklist. So after a couple of hours of gameplay, I was able to reach floor 30, kill the boss and complete the game. So I'll summarise my dungeon shooting gameplay experience. Firstly, the gameplay mechanics are rather generic, and on the whole, the game feels like a my first twin stick shooter game. Enemies and weapons are pretty much vanilla as they come, but they function fine without any major bugs or glitches. One thing I did find with two of the enemies which have a faster fire rate was that their AI was pretty bad, and it clearly showed that enemies simply fired based on predicting where you'd be stood if you continued to move in a certain direction. These AI were easy to confuse by simply strafing left and right. This confused them and caused them to fire in random directions. Whilst there are 40 floors in the game, so far as I can tell they're not randomly generated, so subsequent playthroughs will play in exactly the same way, with the same enemies spawning in the same locations. Bar a few alternative routes to take on some of the floors, there's very little variation from one run to the next. As stated before, the bosses aren't much of a challenge, but the second boss is by far the worst, due to him having a very small hitbox which only exists around his feet. On the whole, dungeon shooting is probably going to be a good game for children, or for those who have never played a twin stick shooter before and want an easy route into the genre. Beyond that though, there isn't much on offer, and for a rating, I'd give the game 1 out of 5 stars. Personally, I don't think dungeon shooting's price tag warrants the content it offers, and there are other games out there offering a much better experience for the same cost. You can get the game on the UK Switch eStore for £4.49 or on the US eStore for $4.99. And that's it for this review of Dungeon Shooting. Remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and sub to the channel to be notified of future reviews. For now though, I want to say thanks once again for watching, stay safe, and until next time, game on.